Well, hey, David, how you doing? It's good to see you.
Hey, good to see you, Todd. Yeah, I'm doing great.
I really appreciate you joining. We've been having some conversations with local business people, and you're definitely one of those. You do a lot in the local community, and business is just one of those things that you do. And so I really appreciate all that you give back to Capel through your school board work and volunteer work, and then of course you've got a business that I want to talk to you about. So for those that don't know you, David, tell us who you are, what you do.
Yeah, so I'm David Caviness. I have lived here in Coppell. This is coming up on is our 15th year. Here in Coppell. So we've made this our home, raising our kids here. By trade, I'm a certified financial planner, and I have founded a little small state registered investment advisory firm, and service clients here in Coppell and really throughout the United States, but mainly centered here in the Metroplex.
Absolutely. Sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead, man.
I was going to say, in my spare time, I also have the pleasure of serving the community as a trustee on our school board.
Well, we could probably have another conversation just about that, for sure, with everything, with all that entails. But tell us about your family. I mean, Jessica's a school teacher. Tell us about your family real quick.
Yeah. So wife Jessica is she's a lifelong teacher. She's taught, in several districts, including right here in Coppell at Coppell High School. We have three boys, so, and ranging in ages, we got a 7th grader, 3rd and 2nd grade. So these guys being cooped up has been a lot of fun this week, trying to figure life out in this kind of new normal that we're in for this period. But, they're all active. And so it's been, for us, it's been a good time just to kind of recalibrate as a family and kind of settle down from the normal hustle and bustle that we've been in.
And it definitely comes with its challenges. There's no doubt about it. So when it comes to your business, tell everybody, how's that going? And most of us know the market's been way down. What are your clients doing? How are you helping them? Just what's it been like in your profession this last week, 2 weeks?
Let's go last month. Really, kind of the way I structure, how I work with clients, I think is important at the beginning here, because, I think education is key, and I believe that we always start with a plan, and then from that plan, derives the investment decision. So, with clients, for the most part, this downturn, unlike '08, has been a little surprising in terms of their reaction, in that I think everyone understands, this is just a blip on, what's going to be, their long-term plan. And even those that are in retirement and need the money, for the most part have been calm and collected. And that has, been, I think a little bit of a surprise on my end. Normally, especially when you get, an unprecedented drop like what we saw. I mean, we've seen the S&P drop, around 33.5% in about 22 days. So the fastest and steep, psychological panic and heart and worry. And, for me, it's just been a lot of constant communication, either, by direct phone calls as much as I can get in and get out. And then, I, have had weekly and sometimes 2 and 3 times a week, email blasts going out to clients and anyone that's been on my list, in addition to some new kind of video, blogs that I've been putting together, especially with how quickly, things were changing, both markets and, with the virus and just how things were happening. It's sometimes quicker just to get a video out to everyone. And that, I think, is what has helped with keeping clients off the ledge a little bit.
Yeah, so just so you know, you froze there for about a second and a
Okay.
half or 2 seconds, but everything's fine. It was right after you said the market had dropped about 30%. Maybe you froze because we don't even want to hear about that. But no, but everything's good. I just want to give you a heads up on
Good.
that.
All right.
So your clients, are they panicked? Are they jumping ship? Is everybody kind of I can't say there's an average type client during this, but what are they saying? What's your day like with these? I mean, 4%, 7%, 12% up and down, which is nuts.
Yeah, the whipsaw has been the hardest, and hopefully, if we can hang on for a few more hours, we'll see our first back-to-back green day, up day in over a month. I think the last time we've done this was February 11th and 12th, if I remember that stat right. But for the majority of my clients, they are actually seeing the opportunity here. Most actually are looking at this as a very good buying opportunity, for some that have some cash that have been in savings or on the sideline. And, my last conversation was a client that actually was, sending some money to get invested. So, overall, my clients have, kind of, they bought into our system here and our plan and what we've got in place. And, they're staying calm and collected. And I've had a few, that have, wanted to jump ship. And, we've taken some measures with those, but I really think, and, like I said earlier, the key here has been, making sure that clients have a good understanding of where their risk and comfort level is, and knowing, where we put the portfolios is based, really upon them. So we're not, what I don't do is cookie cutter, allocations. Everybody gets, either portfolio A or B. We really start, with that plan, deep diving into where a client's risk level is, and then build that accordingly. And so clients understand, they're gonna fluctuate, but we've got them in a spot that has been set up kind of personally to them, and that's helped.
Are you getting are you getting a heck of a lot more phone calls, text messages because of the fluctuation, or are these fluctuations already becoming almost normal? I can imagine those first couple of 3 days, it would be like everybody wants to talk to you going, what the heck's happening? But is it leveled out at all, or?
Mine have, and they tend to come in waves, and again, it's a little history here. I actually started my company, went out on my own, at the beginning of 2007. So, I was still trying to build this thing up, when 2008 hit. So, drawing on my perspective from that, I learned then, communication is key. And so proactively here, I was, reaching out. So I think that's kept, a lot of the panic calls from coming in. But early on, I did, I was getting more calls and emails. It's kind of leveled off. And then, I've gotten a few more this week, from, a few clients. But it's,
Sure.
I think people are getting either numb to the whipsaws and what's going on, or, we've been staying in touch enough that, they are just hanging in.
Well, we could have a whole discussion around kind of what the economic trends look like and stuff like that, but that's not what this is meant for. I mean, a couple of things I heard from you from a small business owner is, never has it been more important to have open lines of communication. I mean, that's a real common theme.
Yeah.
And the other is you doing some videos to communicate. Is that new for you to do that?
It is. I kind of did a couple last summer and into the fall, just as I was trying to figure out the whole system. But I had and again, these things change up your plans dramatically. But certainly when this started with the markets, it really forced that issue into speeding it up and changing direction from what I had planned. So they are basically they're new, and they really cranked in and started about the beginning of the slide here in the U.S. Sorry, I got
Well,
people walking in.
well, hello to them. That's a great thing, right?
Yeah.
Well, David, listen, we could go on and on and on about this, but I really appreciate you with everything that you do here in Coppell. Obviously, I wish you great success in your business, and thanks for helping people. Thanks for helping people just try to stay the course and figure out what's personal for them. But ultimately, we're all in this together. That's what's kind of crazy is like nobody's special. It's like we're all in this together. So there's some good things that can come out of it. But I appreciate you sharing what's going on with you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you doing this, Todd. And I think what you just said is key. And I work with a lot of, small business owners, and, we've had some really tough conversations the last few days, especially as, our situation here in Dallas County has been, with this new, kind of lockdown order, so to speak. And that they're having to make those tough decisions and looking out for the company itself, and, taking unfortunate actions of laying people off, just so that, the business will survive and they'll have a place to come back to when this thing's over. And, that's what really has been, I think, the most challenging navigating, with those clients and not only the owners, but those that are in the unfortunate spot that have been laid off too, and just putting, that together. And so I'm fortunate, technology lets me work from, anywhere I can have an internet connection, and others are not as fortunate. And, that's who I really have been, trying to stay in touch with and seeking to help.
So as we wrap up here, if anybody wanted to reach out, have a discussion with you, David, what's the best way to find you online? How would you like people to do that?
Yeah, they can simply go to my website. There's contact information there. They can contact me directly from it, or, locate my phone number and everything there. And the website is CavinessWealth.com.
CavinessWealth.com. All right, awesome. Well, David, enjoy the rest of your day. I appreciate the time, and we'll talk to you soon, man.
All right. Thanks, Todd. I appreciate it.
All right, we'll see you later.
Yeah.